Well. Hello. One and all. It's almost time, guys. I've put the Arsenal shirt on because it's like an Arsenal kind of day. Well, an Arsenal kind of day. We've got to wait until Thursday. That's the one annoying thing about the double game week, isn't it? That it doesn't really begin until all the way on Thursday, and then we got to wait again until Tuesday. But anyway, guys, hello, welcome to FPL Mate. My name is Dan. It is double game week time. It's double game week time. I'm just putting out a tweet about the fact that we're streaming, so just bear with me. Someone says, is the FPL site down? Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I'm logged onto it right now, so I think it's fine. The graphic is wrong. Arsenal can't play on the same day? What do you mean my graphic's wrong? I messed up. Oh, that should say... Sorry, that should say Tuesday the... I don't even know what day. Tuesday the 18th. Okay, hold on. Let me just update that real quick. Well spotted. Well spotted. Tuesday the 18th. You know, I thought I'd start streaming a little bit earlier today, but actually, maybe I just should have spent an extra 15 minutes just ensuring all of the graphics are correct. Maybe that would have been a good idea. But anyway, guys, just fixing that now, and it should be updated momentarily. But how is everyone doing regardless? Members, let me know if you are here. And I will say hello to all of you. Let's just put this tweet out. And then... And then here we go. Right. Oh, we got a super chat already. Right. Okay. Which members have we got here? Carl is here. Trash Panda's here. Max is here. Mark is here. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. And we got a super chat already from Yugen Raj, who says, I can't afford Rice nor Timber for my third slot. Should I go Zubamendi? I need to replace Wilson. I think, first of all, I don't think you do need to replace Wilson. Wilson's actually a player I'm looking at potentially buying. He has a game against Burnley in game week 31, which is he's probably one of the best picks for blank game week 31. So I actually quite like Wilson. Would not be looking to kind of remove him, to be honest. If you can't afford Rice or Timber, I think Saliba or, you know, if you got Raya already, I'm not sure. I'd maybe look to go there, or I don't know, man. I just think Zubamendi, it doesn't fill me with inspiration. I appreciate he has scored a fair amount of FPL points this season, but I think that's because availability has been his best ability this season more than anything. And he scored a couple of banger goals. I just, particularly as an Arsenal fan, I just don't know. It was the 17th. Wednesday the 18th is when that... why are people saying 17th? Maybe it's a time zone thing. So yeah, I'm not at all inspired by the Zubamendi pick. And I know so many people are so keen on him. Sorry, it's Wednesday the 18th. That's why I'm getting wrong. It's Wednesday the 18th, not Tuesday. Right, we will get this right eventually. The Wolves Arsenal game. So it's definitely the 18th. We just got the day of the week wrong. Well, we're getting there eventually. We're getting there eventually. Right, there we go. Right, we've got stuff to talk about today outside of Zubamendi, because I don't know, I just cannot get my head around the selling Zubamendi. Sorry, buying Zubamendi or selling Wilson, really. So I don't really know how to answer that without seeing a full team. It's difficult to say what your kind of other options are, but I would say that Zubamendi is like kind of very low priority. I mean, if I was to rank Arsenal picks right now, I guess I would say number 1, Gabriel, number 2, probably Rice, then Timber, then Raya, then Saliba, then Gyökeres. So, at best, Zubamendi is the 7th best Arsenal pick, in my opinion, of course. And, you know, on a double game week, for a good team like Arsenal, do you really want the 7th best Arsenal pick? Few questions around Calafiori as well. I wasn't totally convinced by him in game week 25. And also, he's just come back from injury. So, given that it's a kind of a Thursday game this week, I wonder if he could be rotation risk. I don't think I'd be willing to take the risk there. I don't think the upside is high enough there to really be worth going for. So yeah, not super keen on the Calafiori pick either. So there are a lot of rogue picks, and obviously, look, if you feel strongly about certain players, then you should absolutely go for them. But all I can really do here is kind of give my opinion. Got a super chat here from Claude Fen. It says 1 free transfer. O'Reilly to Munoz will be able to manage game week 31. Yeah, you definitely could do. But to be honest, if you have a feeling that O'Reilly will play against Fulham at home this week, I don't think it's such a bad fixture to have him. I don't think he's so bad. So I think, you know, it's an improvement on the team, but I don't think it's an essential move necessarily. I think it's an essential move. I still need to make my transfers, by the way. Any team conference, press conference news? Yeah, not really too much interesting stuff. And I thought because we're streaming a little early today, we could just go through it together, if you want, and kind of answer some questions, general FPL questions, whilst we kind of do this on the side. So yeah, we'll go through some of the press conference news as well. And what we'll do is yeah, there just wasn't too much interesting stuff. I'll put it that way. There were some press conferences yesterday. There's some more today. I don't think we're getting an Arsenal press conference, unfortunately. So I know a few of you guys may be wondering about, like, is Saka going to be back? Is he going to damage the, you know, like Madueke's minutes? What's the Trossard situation? Yeah, unfortunately, it is just going to be a case of hoping for the best and picking safely, picking sensibly. I think is probably the wise move as well. But in terms of team news, the biggest headline, I guess, some people I know are looking at Strand Larsen. Mateta isn't going to need surgery, but Mateta is going to be out for, it looks like, weeks. So we can certainly consider that team news, I suppose. In fact, I'm going to just go ahead and start writing some notes here. So Mateta will not have surgery, but is out for weeks at least, it looks like. Traore and Granit Xhaka is still out as well, just in case anyone still has him. West Ham apparently have some injuries, but there's no clear idea on what those injuries are. Nuno's kind of kept that a bit secret. Have some secret injuries from West Ham. Bournemouth from press conference from Bournemouth. Bournemouth are going to rotate a little bit, apparently. Don't know who, but maybe worries me a little bit about Hill. Although maybe it should worry Senesi as just as much, because Hill is playing very well at the moment. Bournemouth are expected to rotate a bit. And I don't really know what else was particularly interesting, to be honest. John Stones is back. He was training last week. And Kusanov's available as well, following his little issue last week. So Kusanov are available. I don't know if that worries Mark Gahey owners at all. Maybe it should. Would you start Krupi then? I guess off the back of the Bournemouth thing. It's got to be something to worry about a little bit. But I think mostly the Bournemouth rotation was kind of hinted at because of fatigue. And given that Krupi is kind of getting pretty early subs every game, he's probably not one of the players who is probably most in danger of having a fatigue-related benching, if that makes sense. So he's probably just going to play another 60 minutes. Hi, Dan. My team is Raya, Dubravka, Gabriel, Alderete, Hill, Rodon, Collins, Endo, and Burmo, Bruno, Rogers, Wilson, DK, Haaland. Gu is a third Arsenal slot necessary. I think a third Arsenal pick is going to be necessary, yeah. How you go about that, I'm not exactly sure. Depends how much money you have in the bank. I guess a defender could come in if you can afford to get to Timber or Saliba. Not really sure how you're going to get Declan Rice in. You could maybe do Ekatike to Gyökeres as well. If not, is Rogers to Rice the one? I don't know, maybe. But so you do have some options there. But I would do it. I would get that third Arsenal guy. Sir with the super chat here says, have 5 free transfers but cannot afford Munoz in one move. I can do Chow to Lacroix, or should I downgrade Pickford? I mean, you could do Chow to be fair, I don't really see the benefit of going for Lacroix over Richards, given that there is a bit of a price gap there. So I would go for Richards, sure, over Lacroix, I think. But yeah, as long as you've got your 3 Arsenal settled, I don't think you need to go too crazy with the transfers. Or if you do really want Munoz, make 2 transfers. If you've got, you say you're open to downgrading Pickford, I'm not exactly sure where I would go to from Pickford. So that's kind of a difficult one. Like, who even are the good goalkeepers? I guess Kelleher from next week looks pretty good. But you're probably not the best jumping on point now. Or to be fair, you could do Pickford to Kelleher now and play Dubravka this week, potentially as well. That's going to be a possibility. That's probably the best I can think of off the top of my head. Really struggling with goalkeepers at the moment, to be honest. It's so difficult to pick them out. Matthias says, missed the deadline on Friday, was sick in bed. I know it's a huge ask, but if you could look over my team, uploaded earlier today to the G Drive. Yes, Matthias, I will look at your team. And any other starting 11 tier members, if you just pop your team in the Google Drive, I'll have a look at it whilst we've got time, sort of in the next hour. Well, within the next hour, I mean. Abdul with the super chat here says, Casemiro or Garner trying to replace Szoboszlai? No, neither really. If you're replacing Szoboszlai, I would say that the obvious move is probably Ismail Assar, I would say. I'm not really sure who else I'd really go for in that kind of price bracket. I mean, unless you want to go really cheap and you want to go for like a Anderson or something. Well, not really cheap, but pretty cheap. Anderson, Dewsbury Hall, potential. There is potential there. So that's kind of maybe where I'd be looking to go for a cheap midfielder. But Ismail Assar, first of all. And that should be affordable, right? Szoboszlai to... let's see. I've not actually owned Szoboszlai at all this season, so I don't actually know for sure how much he is. But I'm guessing like around 6.5, right? 6.7. Okay, well, yeah, that's a pretty simple switch there. And Sarr is, what, 6.3? Yeah. So, yeah, that's going to be a pretty easy move. If you're replacing Szoboszlai, then Sarr. Unless you're trying to free up a bit of money, in which case, I'd just go to Anderson, I think. Anderson is just, Mr. Reliable at this point. A pretty simple one, all in all. Mark says, at top 100k rank, if I just captain Gabriel, if he returns, does it hurt my rank? I don't know yet. I mean, we can get an idea in the chat of how many people will be triple captaining this week. So, are you using the triple captainship this game week? And I'll put yes on Gabriel, yes on Rice, yes on someone else, and just no is the other answer, I suppose. So we get a rough idea on not just how many people are triple captaining, but also where those chips are going. But I have my triple captain on right now. It's activated. It's activated. It has been for a couple of days now. Why not just keep Szoboszlai? I mean, you could if you wanted to. I just think there are probably better options out there right now. To be honest, I mean, I'm going to be making some midfield. I'm probably going to make 2 midfield transfers in the next couple of game weeks. Szoboszlai is not really even making top 10 for me. That's just, I think our standard, our expectations from midfielders just needs to be really high at the moment. And because there are so many incredible options, there's so many midfielders I want, and I know I'm not going to be able to get all of them. It's so frustrating. I want Wilson, I want Ryan, I want Atara, I want Wirtz, and some other guys as well. Rodgers, I'd like to have Rodgers. How am I going to get all of these guys in my team? I'm simply not. So I'm probably looking at selling Rice soon. Probably looking at selling Enzo soon. I mean, maybe Mbermo, but I mean, there's no strong reason to sell Mbermo right now. It's tough. And I've got to upgrade Obi as well at some point. Ready for Game Week 31. Max said, how many Game Week 31 non-players would it take to dissuade you from Tarkowski to Munoz? I have triple Haaland, triple Arsenal, Haaland, and you. Non-playing players, how many? I mean, if you only have triple Arsenal and Haaland and you, you're in the same situation as me, pretty much. So I have Obi instead of you. And I'm bringing in a new Crystal Palace player this week. And it's going to be fine. So, yeah, it helps when one of your Arsenal players is rare, to be fair. That does genuinely help. But, yeah, I think you should be okay to go for one more. The Australia with a super chat. A super chat in euros, despite being called Australia. Says, hi, Dan. On the fence about triple captain Gabriel, do you think there will be any better double game weeks later in the season? Head is melted. Yeah, we've done a lot of content around that this week, to be honest, the Australia, but I'm happy to whiz through it quickly for you today. So I have here my double and blank game week spreadsheet. And I think probably this is the best area to focus on to start off with. So really, we've got our double game week 26. We know that's happening. That's sorted. We're going to get a double game week in 33, which almost certainly is going to be a double game week. Like, I'm 99.9% sure there is going to be some double game week fixtures in 33. And it should be the biggest double game week of the season. And therefore, unless you've already bench boosted or are planning on bench boosting before Game Week 33, Game Week 33 just looks like such an obvious bench boost week. Particularly if there are a lot of double game weeks, which we have high potential for there to be a lot of double game weeks because of the way everything has landed. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be the biggest double game week of the season, no matter how we frame it. And yeah, that's just your bench boost week, or maybe a free hit week. You could maybe spin it and be a free hit week, but unless you've already used some of your chips, it's unlikely to be a triple captain week. But if you have used some of your chips, or you are going to kind of splurge a few of them early, which want to go on record and say I don't recommend, then Game Week 33 could, in those unique circumstances, be a triple captain opportunity, but want to try and avoid it, really. Game Week 36 is the next opportunity, and I think it looks reasonably likely that Man City will have a double game week there. As long as Man City reach or Burnley, Man City or Burnley, if one of those two teams reaches the FA Cup semi-final, it looks pretty likely that Man City will have a second double game week in Game Week 36. And that would be your prime candidate for a second opportunity for the triple captain. So it would be in Game Week 36. It would be Man City against Brentford at home, and either Crystal Palace at home or Burnley away. I'm really stuck between which one it will be, and I guess it depends on some other things that happen over the next kind of few weeks, maybe even week. Because we've got FA Cup games this weekend, which is going to really help to narrow things down. But that doesn't help us right now when we're hovering over the triple captain button right now. Whatever happens this weekend is not useful to us. So the realistic expectations, Game week 36, is some potential for a game week 37 double game week, some niche scenarios, but it is still so open in that regard. So many things need to happen in a certain way in cups, European games, in FA Cup games, certain teams need to go through, etc., that I don't really think it's worth talking about too much. And even so, I still think there's a good chance that fixtures just move into game week 36. So, in short, what are the alternative triple captain weeks aside from game week 26? You could do game week 33, but I would rather use a different chip there. A different chip would be far more powerful there. And game week 36 looks like the next best opportunity. In terms of single game weeks, there's not really much going on, to be honest. Not really seeing a particular week that stands out for Haaland, for example. Is there anything for Bruno? Not really. Leeds at home in 32, maybe. If you're not wildcarding in 32. As a single game week, I don't know, man. Not really seeing single game week opportunities, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna basically say triple captain now. The next opportunity is probably going to be game week 36. So there we go. Hopefully that helps. But if it helps, I'm triple captaining now because there's just too many variables for game week 36. The double is not guaranteed. It's just the most likely. It's just the second most likely opportunity after game week 26. Because I think game week 33 is a non-opportunity. I think it's a hindrance. I don't know. Maybe that helps. Chris says Rice and Van der Ven to Timber, triple captain, and Sarr. No, I don't think so. Rice is fine. Can we not just move Van der Ven in this? Just one transfer for Van der Ven to, Richards, Munoz, Hill, Senesi, someone like that. That's probably what I would do. I mean, unless you really, really want to triple captain Timber, but if you've got Gabriel and you've got Rice, I'm not as keen on Rice really, but if you've got Gabriel and you want to triple captain him, then I think that's probably the move. Abdul says -4 to replace Calvert-Lewin with Mane from Wolves. No, don't think I'd do it. I think honestly, Mane probably gets a 4-pointer this weekend, this game week. Best scenario really for Mane is like a 7-pointer maybe if you can manage an assist. Maybe a little speculative. Reese says Timber triple captain. Have I lost it entirely? It's up to you. Do you like Timber more than Gabriel? Is the question. I don't. I prefer Gabriel. But there's nobody's saying that Timber is a bad pick. Nobody's saying Timber is a bad pick. It's just a different pick to Gabriel. Gabriel ultimately has been the primary goal scorer out of the defenders, the best def conner, the most nailed on for minutes, and there's just so and bonus points. Does well for bonus points, doesn't really get yellow cards. There's just so many points in the favor of Gabriel versus Timber. What Timber does have is slightly better underlying numbers and maybe slightly better open play positioning, or much better open play positioning. But he's so far not really managed to convert that because I don't think he's a particularly good finisher necessarily. So there are more points in the favor of Gabriel, but Timber is still a good pick. If you genuinely prefer Timber to Gabriel, or indeed you don't have Gabriel, then you definitely could do. Sean says, Dan, which one will you bench? Mane, Pedro, or Enzo? You're definitely not going to bench Pedro or Enzo. So you got to bench Mane. You can't bench your Chelsea players this week, unfortunately. Leeds at home. It's the fixture's too good. Javi says, play Tarkowski or Mane or transfer to Munoz. What would I do there? Probably transfer to Munoz. I'd probably transfer to Munoz if I'm honest. But that is a little luxury of a move. There's a little luxury. Stuart asks about news on Saka. None, unfortunately. The Arsenal press conference is not until after the FPL deadline, so we won't get an update there, unfortunately. Would you take a hit to sell Tarkowski and get Munoz? No, I wouldn't. Burmo injured. I think he's going to be fine. He's trained, so. Are you doing shouted riches before deadline? I am indeed. I haven't done it yet. To be honest, I was waiting for Crystal Palace press conference, but that's all done now. And it looks like it's the same players are going to be available from last week to this new game week. The only thing I was kind of wondering about is Brentford and Collins. I don't actually know when the Brentford press conference is. Was it yesterday? Does anyone know when the Brentford press conference was? I'm not sure. Or is it not happening until after the deadline? I've not seen any notes anywhere though, and I've not seen it come up on my usual feeds today, unless it's this afternoon. That's the only other thing. Right, what else we got here? I'm not in the habit of watching Everton games. Where has this Tarkowski fall off come from? I mean, I think maybe a slight switch in tactics has meant that Tarkowski is getting less defensive contributions. And we've seen that last couple of game weeks with kind of more centre-backs on the pitch kind of thing. But I think the main thing is the clean sheets have dried up, right? And with Everton, they were a team, and this is something that we kind of have spoken about in videos. Everton have not looked good defensively for quite some time now, and they've been quite fortunate in a lot of the clean sheets that they were kind of keeping a few weeks back, I suppose. Now that the kind of the luck has, or the good fortune has dried up, well, we're back to normal, and they're conceding goals in situations where, they're kind of expected to concede goals. They're conceding a lot of chances. Of course, they're going to concede goals. It was strange when they weren't conceding goals, and now things are kind of getting back to normal. So I don't think it's a fall off, but more so things are just regressing to mean a little bit and looking a little bit more how we would expect from a kind of data perspective. So, yeah, Everton just not that good of a defense, and now it's kind of showing, unfortunately. Do I just need to make this transfer now so people stop asking me about why I haven't done Chow to Riches and what I'm doing there? I just wanted to just wait and see if there's anything on Collins. Is there anything? Let's just Google it. Brentford press conference. Right, when is the next one? Well, there's none available to look at right now. I don't know. There we go, Tim. I only answer this question if you put it in as a super chat. Hi, mate. Tim here is top 10k rank good. Triple captain Gabriel. Good luck when you triple captain Gabriel. Tim's been top 10k every week for his entire FPL career, apparently. It's an impressive run in the top 10k. I wonder if he'll ever push on to some higher ranks, or just kind of stay around top 10k. We'll have to wait and see. VJ with the super chat here says Raya, Timber, Tarkowski, Richards, Anderson, Mukiele, Bruno, Wilson, Rice, Enzo, Cherky, Haaland, Watkins, Q. 2 free transfers, 3 million in the bank. Shall I remove Cherky, Tarkowski, or Watkins, or roll? Maybe bring in Hill, Rogers, Ekatike. I mean, I wouldn't sell Watkins. I think he's fine to keep and indeed play this game week. What you may be looking at? You may be looking at Cherky to someone. Cherky to Verts, Cherky to Mbermo, Cherky to Saar. I think that's probably what I'd do. Or Cherky to Rogers. You mentioned Rogers as a player you like as well. Yeah, I don't know which play you prefer out of those, but I think Cherky would be the move I would make out of those, and that should really help to improve your midfield there. I think Cherky is just frustrating, isn't he? Just a frustrating FPL asset. And look, there's every chance he starts against Fulham and scores and whatever, but like It's like, is it worth the risk? Is it worth the stress? Is it worth the drama every single game week? Probably not, right? So I think that's what I would do. Just get it done. Get a player you're confident in and move on. I'd be less keen to bring in Munoz or something like that because you already have Richards. Could go for Hill potentially if you want to as well, or Senesi. Maybe save some money to upgrade you even to Thiago next game week. That's what I'm looking to do next week. Maybe the week after, but probably next week. I'm going to be doing Chido-Obi to Thiago. Looking forward to that one. So there you go. Those are some suggestions. Belinda G says, hey, Thiago versus Anderson. I'm, as an Arsenal lover, I'm going to go Anderson over Thiago this week. The only kind of reason to maybe go for Thiago is to kind of hedge against your Arsenal defenders and kind of treat it as a win-win scenario. That doesn't really work like that necessarily. So there we go. I would play Anderson, but yeah, it could hedge, could potentially hedge. Right. What else we got here? Bench list. We'll do bench list at the hour mark. So we'll start that off at 5. I like to start the bench list an hour before deadline, just so we can do whatever else we need to do first. Triple captain Rice thoughts. I mean, it's not something I would do if I didn't have Gabriel to triple captain. I would probably just save my triple captain if it's me, if it's my team at least. So there we go. Right. Let's do some members' team ratings. Now I can't promise I'm going to do all of them, to be honest, because yeah, obviously tight deadlines, deadline stream. We'll do our best. We'll do a few. This was this is coming this morning. What's the note here? Trying to mimic your team as much as possible. Don't. I'm gonna go ahead and say don't try and do that necessarily. One, it's not fun to copy someone else's team, but also you shouldn't tie your value to mine. You want to go for your own achievements, right? But yeah, Saka to Rice seems obvious. So yeah, that does help get your team more towards mine. But yeah, how many free transfers did you say? I don't know how. If you missed last deadline, I guess you have 2 free transfers. So Saka to Rice, Foden to. I'd probably do Wirtz or Rogers. You could do Mbamo as well if you really did want to get your team close to mine. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. But again, that probably just brings your team closer to mine, to be honest. But yeah, that's what I would do. Saka, Foden, those are your priority transfers out. Chow could probably go as well. Thiago, if you can create a scenario where you bench Thiago, good, but I don't think that's going to be possible, depending on how many transfers you have. Super chat from Sid Vicious, have 3.3 million. Buy Munoz for Van Hecke or Tarkovsky. Tarkovsky, I think. Just because you save yourself a bit of money. And if Van Hecke's back, or if you can return, then it's not a bad fixture this week, right? Actually, who are Brighton playing? They're playing. Never look at Brighton fixtures because I just have zero interest in them for my own FPL team. Aston Villa away. Okay, yeah, maybe not. It was last week they had the nice fixture, wasn't it? So, right. This is Carl's team. My Everton players need to go soon, even with Bournemouth at home. I'll be benching One and Jai. Given their fixtures, a short-term punt on Munoz or Sarr is tempting. Not both. I would then get Hill or Anderson or some of the other guys in game week 27. For the other Everton players, game week 6 transfers left. So game week 31 needing 4 to get a playing 11. I have exact money to swap my Everton duo to Hill and Burmo, or could get Verts instead. Third option is to do you to Thiago in game week 27. Finding out would mean I get Hill and Jubrahor or Anderson. If I go through, I'll probably roll in 26 and do low in 27. Yeah. I think getting you up to a Thiago is probably your priority. Maybe. Just because it solves an issue in Game Week 31. So maybe I would prepare to do that. I mean, this team ultimately doesn't really need any transfers, so I wouldn't rush them in. You've got Lacroix, so I don't think you really need Munoz and Sarr. You say you got a bench and Everton player. Maybe make that Tarkovsky and play Njai. That's probably what I would do. Yeah, this team is a roll. Reevaluate next week. Got Scott's team here. Who likes to look at the team, just wondering what goalkeeper to start, really. Would I play Dubravka over Bruggen? I don't know that I would, It's tight, isn't it? I guess okay, I guess maybe I would. But it would be really close. That's a coin cost kind of scenario, isn't it? Okay, yeah, play Dubravka over Verbruggen. Only because it's only Sarr in the Crystal Palace attack that's doing anything right now. But yeah, rest of the team looks good. Good to go. I mean, if you've got your triple up on Arsenal, you're pretty much good to go. Mafon says, you've convinced me to triple captain. Gabriel, thinking of rolling or making a goalkeeper transfer. Don't think you really need a goalkeeper transfer. You can just play Dubravka this week. But yeah, aside from that, team looks strong. Yeah, I don't think this needs a transfer. Team's in a good shape. No changes other than swap goalkeepers. Dubravka on, Ruff's on the bench. Although saying that, Sunderland are pretty good at home. Nah, surely not. It's Liverpool. Come on, let's be sensible here. Let's think smart. All right, Ali's team. And we've got a super chat whilst we just wait there. From Isaac, who says, thanks for an amazing YouTube. How many minutes do you think Madueke gets between both Arsenal games? I have him, Timber, Gabriel, one transfer, 0.3 million. Honest answer, I think you do well to get 120 minutes. I think that would be a success if you get 120 minutes from him. I'm not totally convinced, but you just got to hope during those minutes he does do something, whether that's a corner taken that's kind of knocked in by hopefully Gabriel. I don't know. But yeah, it's he's fine. Yeah, I think if you already have Madueke, I wouldn't be looking to move him out. But not, I don't know. Maybe it's my own kind of profile of FPL asset I like to own, but Madueke is not ideal. The big problem with Madueke is if Saka returns a little bit sooner than expected. If Saka's back for the second game in the double game week, then Madueke is going to be in big trouble. But there's every chance that even if Saka's not back, we see one game where Arsenal play kind of Trossard and Martinelli on each wing, or maybe someone else out wide. And that's the difficulty with Madueke. You just don't know. And the fact that the second game is so far away, the fact that even the first game is a couple of days away and there's been no press conference, it's very, very difficult to come up with an accurate prediction, I suppose. So there we go. Matthias says, Dan, thanks for the suggestions. If I do Saka to Rice and Foden to Mbeumo, I still have 2 million left. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Definitely not a bad thing. No, I've got, how much money have I got in the bank? I think after I make I have 3.8 million in my bank after I make the Chow transfer. Which is, yeah, 3.8 million, which is loads. But it's fine. I want to have money in the bank because I want to upgrade Obi. I want to swap Rice out. I want to swap Enzo out. I might even have to swap Collins out at some point as well. So there's plenty of things in the future that we can be spending our saved money on. Right. So do we do? Ali's team, 3 free transfers, 3.4 in the bank. This team, what does it need? It needs a Tavernier transfer, doesn't it? It needs a Tavernier upgrade. I'll do Tavernier to Mbermo, Verts, or Rogers. One of those guys. That's what I would do, I think. Or you can go for another cheap. If you fancy upgrading Obi to Thiago next game week, you could also just do Tavernier to a Sar, maybe someone a bit more similarly priced to help fund the Obi upgrade. Or you go even cheaper. You go Anderson, you go Dewsbury Hall, something like that. All of them would work, I think. But ideally, you would buy someone to replace Anderson this week to allow you to bench Malik Chow this week. But I wouldn't use 3 transfers. I'd just use 1 this week. I think I'd probably play. Would I play Wilson? I probably would play Wilson. Man City can be got at. Trash Panda says I need to get a 3rd Arsenal player. How are we going to do that then? I think I'd just do Pickford to Raya, to be honest. You don't need double. Or Tarkovsky to Timber. One of those. I think that's pretty straightforward. You don't need double Everton defense anymore. At all really. What would I lean towards? Is Gabriel Chalobah, Nunes all playable this week? Okay, if you were to do Tarkovsky to Timber, that would allow you a pretty nice 4-4-2, and you can bench Wilson and Thiago if you wanted to. Alternatively, is it the better idea to actually just, because you've got quite a strong attack, is it better to go Pickford to Raya? That would allow you to hide Raya in game week 31 on the blank game week. Maybe that's what I'll do. Right on the notes, but I'm really leaning towards Alderete to Munoz and Joao Pedro to have it. There is no way I would sell Joao Pedro over the next 2 game weeks. Not a chance. Leeds and Burnley. I'm thinking about those people who will be captaining Joao Pedro in game week 27. So definitely wouldn't be doing that. Listen, if you really do want Havertz in your team, then I can't stop you. But no, it's not something I would even nearly consider if this were my team. And Alderete to Munoz. Do you need it? Do you need to have all 5 of your defenders cost over 5.4 million? It's too much money in defense, considering the wealth of cheap defenders right now. So I don't think I would do that either. Yeah, I think if it's my team, I'm probably doing Pickford to Raya, but I also like Tarkovsky to Timber, and that's pretty much as far as I would go there. I'd save the extra transfer, I'd roll it on, and that's pretty much what I would do. Yeah. But if you really want to do Joao Pedro to Havertz, I can't stop you. Jessel says Chow to Hill. Any other suggestions? I do like that. I mean, you could just go Richards. Chow to Richards, maybe. Or Mainu to someone. Mainu to Sar. If this is my team, what am I actually realistically doing here? I'm playing Ray, I'm playing Gabriel, O'Reilly, Konate, I'm benching Chow Mukiele. Yeah. If this is my team, I'm probably doing Mainu to Sar. That's what I would do if it was my team. I don't know if that's the answer. You're probably not the answer you wanted to hear, because every week you have Mainu in your team, and every week I suggest some replacements for him. And yes, he's still here, so maybe there is an attachment there. But I can only tell you what I would do if it were my team. Tom says Wilson against Man City or Krupa Jr. against Everton. I think I'd play Wilson if it were my team. Yeah, I do Wilson. Play Thiago or Obi? It's a lose-lose. I don't know. Obi's going to get 0 points. Thiago's going to get at least 2. It's not bad. It could be a lot worse. Hey mate, I have Ekatike on the bench. Who do I drop for him, Semenyo or Pedro? No one. You keep Ekatike on your bench. We're going to do a bench list fairly soon, so hopefully we'll cover a lot of bench-related questions. I believe we've done all of our rate my teams. If there's any other members in the chat who do want a team rating, please do feel free to go ahead. And if you want to join as a member as well, you absolutely can do. Joining as a member gives you access to a whole bunch of stuff. For example, the 100 experts video that went up this morning was actually available to members from like last night. I didn't want to upload them publicly. I didn't want to upload that video publicly too soon after the team selection video, so I delayed it till this morning for everyone. But members typically will watch the video regardless, and therefore I just put it up for members early, so you're gonna get early videos sometimes. Member streams, we do that most game weeks unless there's midweek games, which makes things difficult. You get access to my planning sheets as well. Join the private mini league, and yeah, loads of other stuff. So if you do want to join as a member, you can get your team rated straight away from today. And yes, but yeah, that's gonna be at the starting 11 tier or above. And members, if you do drop your team in the Google Drive, let me know. Let me know you've done it. Flag it to me so I can have a look. Right, anyway, back to business. Well, I don't know what happened there. We had a bit of a lag on the transition. But Patrick says Columbus Cheeseheads, Njai and Stack out, Stack and Rogers in. Patrick, what does this mean, my friend? Njai and Stack out, Stack and Rogers in. Scott, yes you can. Yes you can, my friend. Still trying to work out why there's two stacks. It's gotta mean someone else, right? Maybe someone cheaper? Who's real? I don't know. Patrick, let me know. Any wildcard draft you can suggest? Yes, my advice on the wildcard is to not use it. To be totally honest with you, I'd rather take like a -8 than use a wildcard. Oh, Anderson and Rogers. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, why not? If you want to. I don't think I wouldn't do those moves for a hit. I don't feel very particularly strongly about those moves. It's not something I'd be desperate to do necessarily, but yeah, if you prefer Anderson and Rogers, then absolutely go for it. Absolutely go for it. Hi Dan, would you play DCL over Chalobah if you had them? DCL is potentially ill, but no, I would play Chalobah. I'd play Chalobah. Timber to Hill to fund over to Thiago and Rice to Verts. Yeah, I like it. I like it. For free, I like it. And we definitely improves your team, doesn't it? And it also helps you for Gameweek 31 as well. A lot, actually. Cool. There we go. Zacharias says, I added Richards on Rayleigh. What's Rayleigh? Because first in the mini league has Munoz. Or maybe for O'Reilly. I don't have Villa or Palace attacker. Nah, it's not worth selling on Burma or Enzo. Super chat from Trash Panda says, first, thank you for your work and streams. They keep me sane at work. Good to know. Good to know. Also, I really want Munoz. If not Alderete, who would you kick out of my team from Chalobah, Tarkovsky, or Mateus Nunes? I guess Tarkovsky. But like, your priority is getting your triple Arsenal, right? Triple Arsenal is the priority. Well, you could always, if you wanted to do two transfers, easy for me to say, you could always do Tarkovsky to Munoz and pick Vittoria. You'd always do that. But yeah, if you're out of your defenders, your many plethora of expensive defenders, Tarkovsky would be the first to go for me. But triple up on Arsenal was the priority. That's like for everyone. For everyone. Summit or Nothing says, damn, what's the best free hit team this week? Haven't really seen it. Love the channel. Gets me through cardio at the gym. Good to hear, my friend. Good to hear. However, I really, really would not recommend a free hit this week. I really wouldn't. There's going to be so many better opportunities to use it. There really is. So, yeah, this would probably be like, I don't know, something like the 8th best week to to free hit or something like that. It can't be worth it, surely, unless your team just wasn't set up for this week at all. So yeah, the best free hit is to not free hit. The second best is triple up on Arsenal, triple up on Crystal Palace. Probably at least 2 Man United, 1 or 2 Chelsea, and that would pretty much do you. Oh, and some Man City. You'd have a little bit of Man City in there as well. Probably Haaland, maybe more. Not sure. Not sure, but something like that. FPL Vince, by the way, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Feel free to upload your team into the Google Drive, which can be found on my channel homepage, but only members at the starting 11 tier or above will be able to see that that drive link. And then you can just upload a screenshot of your team in there. Hey Dan, what cheap defenders would you recommend? Richards and Hill, pretty much. Richards is 4.4, Hill is 3.9. I like both of them. I'm kind of backed up by the fact that I have both of them, or at least will have both of them by the time we hit the deadline today. Bench list coming in 20 minutes. Juan Spillay with the 22-cent super chat. Thank you very much for that. No message attached. I think there is a minimum spend to add a message to chats. That is not enforced by me. That is enforced by YouTube. So apologies for that. But I appreciate it regardless. I do appreciate that. Should we see if there's any other rate my teams? No, there's not. That's fine. Keep it there just in case. I'm gonna need a new orange squash in a minute. Joe's got the triple captain activated. 500% clean sheet coverage. Wait, so your triple Arsenal defense, triple captain Gabriel. Oh my word. Remarkable. Remarkable. Would you buy Strand Larson instead of Q if you had 3 transfers instead of the wild card? It wouldn't impact me, the wild cards. If you have 3 transfers, that is impactful though. Would I buy Strand Larson? Maybe. We need to see what I kind of want to see something from him. I guess the best time to buy is when the fixtures are good. It's a shame that he hasn't really shown much for Palace so far. Not that he's really had it very much time to do so. Yeah, man, it's a tough buy. You could do. I wouldn't rule it out. If you're keen and if you do want to get that additional forward in your team, then yeah. Also depends who you're selling, right? Captaining Gyökeres, is it a bad idea on a free hit? I think captaining Gyökeres is a risky idea. We'll put it that way. I mean, going through the poll so far, 63% of you are triple captaining Gabriel, 6% of you are triple captaining Rice, 4% of you are triple captaining someone else, and only 26% of you guys are not using the triple captainship this week, which I find a little bit mad. Is it really that little? Are we really that heavy on triple captain this week? I didn't think it would be this heavy on triple captain, to be honest. Unless some people are misreading the question, the poll question. Thoughts on transferring Van der Ven out for Richards? Yep, like it. Rice for Rodgers. I already have Ray and Gabriel. I don't love it. I don't love it, to be fair. I'd be looking to remove a player I didn't want to have long term, and I think Rodgers is a player I'd want to have long term. Ross says bench Hill or Thiago. The Arsenal fan in me says bench Thiago. Hill has the higher ceiling. I think there's a good chance Hill concedes, but, you know, DEFCON is always a possibility there. 4-pointer. Whereas Thiago, we're probably going to get a 2-pointer if we're honest. Treble captain this week. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Too many things could prevent a better option later. Agreed, Carl. Absolutely agreed. Which is exactly why I'm going to be triple captaining Gabriel this game week. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Play Verts or Gahey? Oh, that's a tough one. I guess you've got to play Verts, right? I need to ask my wife if she wouldn't mind grabbing me a drink, but I don't think she's home. Let's check. Let's track her location. Oh, yeah, she is nowhere near home. Anyway. Where were we? Right. Would you play Enzo or Rodgers? Enzo, I think. I heard someone talking about how Timber has a ceiling as a triple captain. I don't think Timber has a higher ceiling than Gabriel because Timber doesn't get defensive contributions. So if you're saying that Timber and Gabriel, even if you say they have similar, goal threat, attacking potential, whatever, then Gabriel's still more likely to get DEFCON, and therefore that improves his ceiling. Juan says, will Gyökeres play both games? Honest answer, don't know. Yeah, the second game, well, the first game is not for another couple of days. The second game is not for another week. It is so difficult to say right now. There's going to be a game in between those two as well in the FA Cup. So it's so hard to get a judgment on what will happen in the second game. If I had to guess, I'd say he starts one game and is maybe on the bench for the other. But if he plays well in the first game, gets another goal, why not? Why can't he start the second game? So I think there's a chance of both happening. This is the exact problem. This is why I'm just saying, just pick 3 out of Raya, Gabriel, Rice, Timber. Just pick 3 out of those 4. You know what you're getting. You can feel confident. You can feel happy. Everything's great. Everyone else has some kind of question mark that nobody can answer. Mikel Arteta doesn't know if he's going to start Gyökeres in the second game of the double game week yet. Probably has a good idea for the first game, and he probably will start for the second game. Yeah, if we're in a situation where the manager probably doesn't know if a player is going to start in the second game or not, then what hope do we have as FPL managers, really? Which is why I just don't want to play that game, personally. When will we know about when the teams will blank in Game Week 34? We will know. Let me just find my chart. No, FPL double Game Week calendar. So I really like my calendar. So we will find out for 100% by not until the Game Week 32 deadline. Is that right? Yeah. Wait. Yes. Yeah, we'll find out for 100% who blanks in Game Week 34 and indeed who doubles in 33. Not until after the Game Week 31 deadline and indeed after the international break. So you're looking at this is going to be something like the 5th of April or something like that before we find out. So 2 months away. before we find out who's going to be doubling in 33 and blanking in 34. At least that's when we'll know for sure. We'll have a good idea. Well, we'll have a better idea by this weekend. We'll have an even better idea than that by the Game Week 30 deadline. And then we'll have that verified by the Game Week 32 deadline. So lots of variables in play still. Lots of variables in play. Good afternoon, Dan. What are your thoughts on Wilson? Should I sell for Enzo? No. If I didn't have Enzo already, I wouldn't be buying him anymore. In fact, that pretty much goes for all Chelsea players. If you haven't already got them, it's maybe too late. Maybe. Unless you have a lot of transfers going at the moment and you can afford to move them in and out. Because any Chelsea player, you're really only looking to keep for 2 game weeks. And that's really, is that worth a transfer? I don't know. The other thing is there's just, with Enzo in particular, there's so many great midfield options. You don't have to go for one that only has 2 good fixtures when there are a bunch of others that have great fixtures all the way up until Game Week 31. Inclusive. Salem says have 2 free transfers by Timber for Tarkovsky and triple Arsenal defense, or just Rice, Foot and Jai. What would I do? Probably Rice in for Njai, to be honest. I don't see anything more about Mbomo's fitness. Yeah, he trained, so I think that's a positive thing. Trained normally. So maybe it was just cramp or something when he was spotted limping the other day. Rice or Zimbamendi? Rice, no brainer. Hill or Chow, who to start? Hill. No Raya? I have Raya. I like Raya. Is it worth using a wild card? No. I'd rather take a -8 than use a wild card this game week. Although fingers crossed you won't need to take a -8. Rodgers to Rice, or do I just go double Arsenal? I would prioritize triple Arsenal. If Rodgers to Rice is really genuinely the only way to resolve that Arsenal situation, then I guess that's what you do. I would look for another route though. Is free hit in Game Week 31 a good idea? Not in my opinion, because Game Week 34 is going to be, in theory, a significantly bigger blank game week. So, yeah, Game Week 34 is going to be problematic for a lot of FPL managers, I think. And therefore, yeah, you use your free hit in Game Week 31. Oh, sorry, in 31, right? Use your free hit in Game Week 31. You'll get to Game Week 34, and you probably regret it. Probably anyway. How do you find and buy Hill so early, by the way? Your process is crazy good for catching these cheap beasts. Thank you, my friend. I kind of agree. Yeah, it's, I think, one of my few strengths in the game of FPL. Obviously, we can't get everything perfect, but something that I feel like I do okay with is yeah, identifying those cheaper FPL assets. Really, it's just keeping an eye on. Well, first of all, I noticed he was playing, which is always a good start. I noticed he was playing every game. After that, I was like, okay, this is interesting. Hang on, we'll just answer the super chat. Scorpio says O'Reilly and Senesi to Gabriel and triple captain and Hill for -4. Is that really the only way? If it is, then yes. If you're desperate to triple captain Gabriel and that's the only way, then yes, do it. I guess. But Senesi to Hill feels sideways. But yeah, I just noticed he was playing. I checked his DEFCON numbers. They were really, really good. I checked his player ratings on FOTMob. They were really good. I checked press conference notes. The manager Iraola was praising him, and you know, it's sometimes it's just you see one thing and then you think, oh, that's interesting. Let's dig it a bit further. And if you're convinced again, then you dig a bit further. If you're still convinced, you dig further. and then it ended up really being me just being completely convinced by him. But that said, look, I think he is a good pick. I think he is good value for money, but I'm not going to deny the fact that picking up an assist, which is basically just a regular pass to Ryan, who ran up the entire pitch and scored a solo goal, that is just luck, really. And really, Gameweek 25 was more like a 4-point appeal, but still really good. But yeah, another thing I noticed is his DEFCON is incredible, man. It's so good. It's so good. It's better than Senesi. So it was enough to convince me to go for him. But yeah, I guess the first step is seeing if a player is actually playing. And then after that, okay, what are their DEFCON numbers like? That's always step 2 for me. When I notice a player looks interesting, check their DEFCON numbers. If they're strong, and Hills were really strong, then you could be onto something. Sia says, "Hey Dan, do you still have hope on Arsenal winning the league?" Yeah, I mean, I think so. I don't see why not. Arsenal's league to lose, really. So I feel fairly confident there. Play Mane or Ryan? Ooh, I'd maybe go for Mane because of the double game week, and also because we are expecting some rotation from Bournemouth, and that may come into play with Ryan. Not sure. Juan says, "Love from India. I love the chip strategy video. I have been following you since Game Week 2 upload. Since Game Week 2 upload on Spotify podcast, please. Also, Bowens at Ekatike or Verts for a -4. No, I wouldn't take a -4 to remove Bowen. I'd rather just play Bowen, to be honest, than take a -4. Upload to Spotify. People have asked me about uploading to Spotify before, but honestly, I don't. It's time consuming, and I appreciate that a lot of you guys would enjoy it, but I'm not really sure how it benefits me or the channel, because all it potentially does is siphon views away from YouTube to a place where I wouldn't be making money from the uploads. And that obviously is important when doing this is literally my job. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go back on Spotify and do something, but I'm not convinced. Maybe I need to speak to someone about it and how it all works. The other thing is with Spotify is that, like, a lot of my videos are quite graphical based. Like, always have graphics. I usually make graphics. I'm not a slideshow FPL content creator. I'm making stuff all the time and animating things and all kinds. So I just don't know if it's suited. But anyway, wouldn't make the Bowen move, at least not this week, and not for a -4. David says, "Is Dorgo to Richards worth doing over starting Thiago?" Yes. Yeah, I would do it. Craig says, "Gabriel Chalobah, Virgil van Dijk, Rodon, and Dorgu in my defense. Can't decide if I should sell Dorgu or roll again." Well, you can play Gabriel Chalobah, Van Dijk as long as your attack is fine, I guess. Yeah, that would kind of be the important factor there. If your attack is in good shape and you don't need to play a 4 at the back, then I think you could just stick with what you've got and just roll. But if you do feel you need an additional player, then Dorgu to Hill or Richards could work. Joe says, "Love the graphics, Dan. One of the best visual storytellers in the FPL space." Good to hear, Joe. Thank you very much. And Joe, I also like your graphics as well. I like your micro animations. I wish I knew how to do them better. I really do, because I think I'm good at Premiere Pro. I probably could do more on Premiere Pro if I put more time into it, but I'm terrible at After Effects. So a lot of the micro animations, I just don't have the time nor energy to figure out. And you do them really well, Joe. To an extent where I am jealous. And I wish I could include more stuff like that in my own videos, because it's awesome. I love that kind of thing. But yeah, appreciate the kind words regardless. Dominic, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel. Absolute legend. If you want to upload your team for a rating, you can do so by going to my channel homepage, finding the Google Drive link, and uploading an image. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Is it roughly known which teams will have a double game week 36? The two most likely teams are Man City and Crystal Palace. But it's up in the air. But yeah, those are the most likely teams. Could be some other teams as well. Could be no other teams. Could be no teams whatsoever. Potentially. We'll have to wait and see. How many teams will be blanking approximately for game week 34? 8. 8 teams blanking. Benji says Hill or Thiago. I'm triple captain Gabriel, hoping Thiago blank. It's up to you. Do you want to hedge with Thiago and kind of try and play both sides? That way you always come out on top. Or are you happy to go Hill? I would probably play Hill. I prefer to go all in. But I don't think there's a wrong answer there necessarily. And I think they're probably projected similar scores. I would go Hill though. Taster says bench 1, Rodgers, Nunes, Chalobah, Anderson, Mane, Enzo. Is the answer Mane? It may well be. It's either Mane or Anderson, I think. So let's say one of them. It is officially 1 hour till deadline, by the way, guys. Juan, thank you very much for becoming a member of the channel, my friend. Yeah, it's officially 1 hour till deadline, and that can only mean one thing. It means that we need to do a bench list. Oh, we've not done a bench list all day. We've not done one since the weekend. It's been way too long. We need one. P Sharp, thank you very much for the super sticker, my friend. Appreciated. Mucho appreciado. Hundreds of hours, Joe. Jeez. Built for making an powered by a web app. I'm so curious to learn how that works. Interesting stuff, man. Maybe I could learn a thing or two from you, Joe, to be fair, at this point. Carl says up to 8 teams blanking in game week 34 for the semis, less if the semi-finals play each other or other non-Premier League teams get through that. Yeah, exactly. Spot on, Carl. Spot on. P Sharp, by the way, if you intended to include a message there, I will keep an eye out in the chat for any messages. So don't worry about sending another super chat or anything like that. If you have a message, just put it in the chat as a normal chat and I will try and keep my eye out for it. Right, bench list. Bench list. Let's start it off. Is there any odds of City doubling in 36? The odds really are just the odds of Man City and Burnley's combined chances of getting to the FA Cup semi-finals and then also factoring in the Premier League doing some weird things, which is also very possible. And you have to then factor in European Cup stuff. It's hard to figure out, but it would be over 50% chance, well over 50% chance of, I would say, intuitively, of City doubling in game week 36. Well over, it would be over 50%, yeah. And there's also a scenario where Man City don't reach the FA Cup semi-finals and still double in 36. There's also that scenario too. But we're just so early. There are just so many moving parts, and I wish I could give you a more conclusive answer. I really wish I could. But there's so many variables and factors in play that need to be resolved before we can give a more accurate answer. And as each week goes by, we'll be able to get a more accurate answer. But I appreciate that doesn't help you right now. And a lot of people need these answers right now, but they just don't exist, sadly. Eunice says, are we triple captain Gabriel or no? I mean, I am, my friend. Up to you. Alistair, thank you for the super sticker there as well. P Sharp says, cheers, Dan. Chalobah or Richards to start. Tough one. Let's kick the bench list off with those guys, I guess. And I'm actually going to put Richards ahead of Chalobah. I'm actually going to put Richards ahead. Richards has slightly better clean sheet odds and is typically a slightly better def conner as well. So I think that leans me towards Richards over Chalobah. I think Leeds are a decent team in attack. They are more than capable of scoring in any given game week. And Nicole says, hi, Dan, 73 points in Gameweek 25. Uploaded my team to drive. Nicole, you're snuck in not really at the right moment because we were only doing the team ratings in the first hour. But regardless, looking at your team, you already made your transfer, so it doesn't really look like you're looking for any advice. Anyway, to be fair, my friend, and I think you look like you're good to go. So, yes, good luck, Nicole. Good luck, my friend. Evok says Cherky or Ivo. No, that says Ivo. It doesn't Evok. That says Ivo. It says Cherky for Rogers or Sarr. If it's me, I'm going Sarr. That's okay, Nicole. It's no problem. Yeah, I go for Sarr as a Cherky replacement, personally, I think. Right, anyway. Bench list. Who's going on there? Who's going on there? Thiago's gone on, apparently. I'm going to put him here. We're going to put Verbruggen and Dubravka on because I know a few people have that very question. And I am going to marginally put Dubravka ahead of Verbruggen. Verbruggen, Dubravka. Verbruggen? Dubravka? Verduggen? Sorry, my brain melted there, trying to differentiate between names that don't look similar, but are surprisingly difficult to say in tandem. Okay. Right, Mane is a big question this week, isn't he? I think I'd play him over Verbruggen to Stegen. Are we talking about to Stegen or Verbruggen or Dubravka? O'Reilly, I put reasonably high this week. Would I put him above Chalobah? Probably not, but I think I'd put him above It's that small rotation risk is going to drop O'Reilly down a little bit, but I think he's a reasonably decent pick. Defcon though. You know what? I'm going to drop him lower than Thiago. I will put a player like Krupi Jr. below though. I don't know if anyone asked for Krupi Jr., but if not, you can just tell me. Dan didn't ask. Nobody cares about Krupi Jr. And if so, I'll just throw my hands up. Mukiele, okay. Players like Alderete, Mukiele, they're going lower. Not as low as someone like Collins. I would marginally put Chow higher than these guys. Marginally. Senesi. I'm going to put Senesi and Hill together because I do think they are much of a muchness. And I'm going to put them here. Super chat from Jandre says, hi Dan, I have one free transfer. Is Gue to Krupi Jr. or Vandenberg to Senesi worth a transfer to start either of them ahead of Harry Wilson? Which one do you prefer, if any? I mean, I'd be fine to play Harry Wilson for what it's worth. Gue to Krupi, I wouldn't do personally. Vandenberg to Senesi, I would think about. But I would probably be more likely to do Vandenberg to Hill at this point. And if you already have Hill, then I wouldn't double up on the Bournemouth defence. The other option is to go for a Crystal Palace defender like Richards. And those are your options there. Oh, Calvert-Lewin hasn't travelled according to a lead in the know. Is that true? Hang on. Sorry, I'm going to have to verify that. Calvert-Lewin. The game's tonight, isn't it? Wait, no. Yeah, it is. Yeah, of course it is. Away from home. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything. Not seeing anything on Calvert-Lewin. It's on your forum? Wow. I don't know, man. It's not something I've seen before, so I can't just automatically trust it, unfortunately. 47 months, Jandre. Crazy stuff. You're almost on the 48th month badge. That's a long time. N8 the Great says, I have Timber and Rice. Should I use my one free transfer for XTK to Gyökeres? And if so, who should I captain? Is Gyökeres too bold? Triple captain? Yeah. Is there no way of getting Gabriel and triple captaining him? Juan, please do not spam, my friend. I will add Wilson in just one moment. Should I use the one free transfer XT to Gyökeres? Probably not. Probably not. Nate the Great. I would try and get Gabriel. That is your priority. And I would, if you only have one free transfer, I would probably even take a -4 to make it happen. So if there's any defenders you don't like, and maybe another player who you maybe been thinking about transferring for a while, if you think you can improve your team using both of the 2 free transfers, including getting Gabriel in, then that's what I would do personally. If you can't get Gabriel in, if it was my personal team, I probably would just forego the triple captain entirely and wait for a future double game week. Wait to see what happens in game week 36 if you don't have Gabriel. Some argument to triple captain Timber, I guess. I don't know, man. So, Wilson. Wilson needs to go here, doesn't he? Somewhere. I mean, like I said, I would be fairly willing to play Wilson. It wouldn't be top of my list, but you could play him if you wanted to. There are worse players to play. Ekatike, I would play probably. You got to play him above Mane, right? Something like this. Thoughts on Havertz? A little risky for me, but I don't hate him as a pick, to be fair. Evan Nilsson and Bowen seem to be popular in the chat. Giandre says, wife is anxiously shouting from the kitchen. Ask him if he would start Raul or Anderson. Gotta love the women playing FPL. You gotta love everyone playing FPL. Well, you gotta love it indeed. Why is she shouting? She got her own device. Hop on the stream, ask me yourself, Mrs. Jandre. Okay, so Anderson or Raul? I feel like I'd probably play Anderson. And I think that's reasonably straightforward as well. I'm going to put Anderson here on the bench list. But yeah, I would play him above Raul. There's another super chat here from Utkarsh that says Soboslai and Shaw replacements, please, Dan. Okay. Could you do Sarr and Hill? Freeing up a little bit of money, actually, for some future moves. Unless you don't have Arsenal players, in which case your Arsenal guys are going to be your replacements. But yeah, assuming you have triple Arsenal already, Sarr and Hill. Or, you could, if you can go up to like Wirtz or Mbermo and Hill, that would be an option there as well. If you are not going for Sarr, I'd be more likely to go for someone like Richards or Munoz as well. You could go a little cheaper in the midfielder position potentially there. So there you go. There are a whole bunch of options for you. All of which are great. Yash says, hey Dan, 2 free transfers. O'Reilly, DCL to Munoz, Mane, worth it. Can you help me with stats for triple captain Rice? I'm not really sure what you're looking for stats-wise. Rice is playing a little deeper at the moment, so he's probably not going to have as much attacking threat open play, but he's still on those set pieces, which is always helpful. Is O'Reilly and DCL to Munoz and Mane worth it? I mean, I'm not massively keen on the Mane transfer generally, to be honest. So I think, he's probably going to get 4 to 7 points this game week. More likely 4. Maybe even 3. And he just causes you a problem in Game Week 31. So, I don't know, man. Why Mane, not Tolu? Because Mane is cheaper. That's the only reason, really, people are going for Mane. I think Mane is on set pieces, but obviously Tolu has better open play threat. And potential penalties as well. I'm not sure who's going to be the penalty taker next. Alistair says, hey Dan, should I start Anderson versus Wolves over Mane double game week? They're both on the bench list, my friend, so hopefully that helps. We'll throw in Verts as well, maybe. But in terms of O'Reilly and DCL to Munoz and Mane, I don't think I would do it with 2 free transfers. I don't think I would. If you need an extra player, I mean, you can play O'Reilly. O'Reilly's perfectly playable this week. So, nah. Not keen. Not keen. Right, we said we were going to do Bowen. We said we were going to do someone else who escapes my brain right now. Who was it? I don't know. Remind me, guys, who I was going to put on the sheet. Right, Bowen, first of all, which is a tough-ish game, really, against Man United, and the underlying numbers have not been great. I'm going to put Bowen. I mean, similar situation to Thiago, where probably not going to have much open play threat, but does have penalties. So I think in that, but it is a better fixture. Like Manchester United, it's obviously, particularly at home, is an easier fixture. So in that sense, I maybe bump Bowen here. Super chat from Linus says, stuck between Gahey and Chalobah, Enzo and Mbermo. Buying or playing? I think I'd play... Would I play Gahey over Chalobah? Maybe not. No, probably not, to be fair. Would I? It's tight. I maybe put Gahey here. If that helps. And, like, there's just no way you bench Enzo, surely. And no way you bench Mbermo either. You got to play both. Oh, Evan Ilson, that was the other player I was going to put on. Thank you for the reminder. So, Evan Ilson away to Everton. I mean, it's got to be better than Thiago and Bowen, right? So, and we think there's a good chance that Evan Ilson's on penalties. So does something like that make sense? Is there a tiny bit of rotation risk for Evan Ilson? Maybe. Maybe. Why would Joao Pedro go on the bench list? Why would you bench Joao Pedro? Surely not. Surely not. Right, Florian Wirtz. I'm going to put him in a similar situation to Ekatike, to be honest. Who would I put above? I'm going to put Wirtz above. What am I? I'm going to put... they're pretty much on par. I'm going to put Wirtz and Ekatike on par. Just expensive Liverpool attackers altogether. Altogether. All right, should we do some goalkeepers, maybe? Someone says Kelleher. I mean, I think that's a pretty obvious bench. Don't know what other goalkeepers people typically have at the moment. Sanchez, I guess people have Sanchez. You're going to play him above most of these guys. Let's go through some of these goalkeepers. Sure, some people have some. Oh, Sells is out, by the way. Sells is unavailable. Ruffs, all right. Yeah, Ruffs is probably going even lower still. Oh, sorry, even than some of the other guys, not lower than Kelleher. All right, Tarkovsky. Oh, you want Pickford as well? Okay, let's wrap up the goalkeepers with Pickford. Jose Sarr, you're obviously going to play unless you have Raya. So he doesn't really need to go on the bench list. To be fair, Raya doesn't need to go on the bench list either, to be fair. I don't know why he's on there. Nobody's thinking about benching him. But yeah, Pickford, a home to Bournemouth. You're probably going right here compared to some of these other guys. So above Dubravka. Right, let's go back to the outfield players. We'll put Tarkovsky on here somewhere. Probably lower than Hill, lower than Thiago, maybe lower than O'Reilly. Maybe similar to O'Reilly. I'm going to go here. Okay. Keane. I mean, Keane's minutes are of some concern still, so I'm going to put him even lower. Van Dijk, Virgil, he's going to go maybe here. Is that right? No, it doesn't feel right, does it? Still doesn't feel right. Okay, that feels better. Enzo Lefebvre. Yeah, you're just not going to play Enzo Lefebvre realistically. Actually, you're going to more likely to play him than Collins, but yeah, I'm happy with that. Cash. Feel pretty indifferent about Cash as an FPL pick. Maybe here. Not really super keen. Garner. Pretty reliable pick, Garner. It's like Anderson light, isn't he? Losing some set piece share, though, now that Dewsbury Hall is back, which has impacted him. So let's put Garner. I guess a little lower than Anderson. I'm going to put him here. Garner. Rice or Saliba captain? Definitely Rice over Saliba. Should we do a captain poll? Just no triple captain. So let's end that. We'll add Maguire. Sorry, I know a few people are asking about Maguire. We'll add him in. And I'm going to run up another poll whilst we add a few more players to the bench list. So Maguire, I guess above Tarkovsky. Something like this. Maybe higher? Is that harsh? Maybe above Wilson? Yeah. Hey, Sheps is here. Member for 60 months. If I'm not mistaken, that's 5 years. Incredible. Incredible stuff. Thank you, Callum. Nice to see you in here, my friend. Right, new super chat. £10 super chat. Thank you very much. C-Max Spud. Sorry for so many questions. Start Kelleher or Verbruggen? Verbruggen. Which one to bench? And Burma, Munoz, Enzo, Chalobah, JP or Rogers. I'm top 3K and got the triple captain on Rice. Would you do Gabriel instead? Any advice? Well, yeah, I would do Gabriel instead. I am doing Gabriel instead. I feel like Gabriel has a higher ceiling. So more potential for things to go very right, but also a higher floor as well. So I think in every way, Gabriel to me just seems a much better captain than Rice. Some people may disagree. But we've spoken about that extensively throughout this week, I guess. In terms of who to bench, Burma Munoz, Enzo Chalobah, João Pedro or Rogers, I guess Chalobah is maybe the answer to that one. Because I think Chelsea will probably concede to Leeds. So you're looking at a 4-pointer from Chalobah, which is pretty decent still, but I think the other guys just have a higher ceiling. How likely is O'Reilly to start? I think O'Reilly is first choice for Man City. I think that is, to me, pretty clear. But when you play for Man City, being first choice is not always the entire set of conditions required to start games with Pep Roulette. Who do you think is on pens if Gyökeres isn't on the pitch? I mean, it's not going to be Ødegaard, is he? Because he's probably not going to play. Eza, maybe if he's on the pitch. Man, that's hard. Okay, from recent memory of Arsenal penalty takers, it's been Saka, Gyökeres, Ødegaard. I'm trying to think prior to that, who have I seen take penalties? I think Eza could take one. He's taken them for Palace before. I think I have vague memories of Martinelli having taken a penalty for Arsenal. Gabriel Jesus has got to be in contention, I guess, if he's starting. I can't see Havertz. Can't see it. Could Declan Rice take a penalty? Yeah. I don't know, man. I just don't think I've ever seen Havertz take a penalty for Arsenal. Gabriel on pens would be nice, wouldn't it? I don't know. Let's have a look. I'm gonna have a look at Havertz penalty record. Is that what you're angling for? You want Havertz to be on penalties to give you extra justification to pick him up? Okay, so Havertz has taken penalties before, but never for Arsenal. Oh wait, that's a lie. He's taken one penalty for Arsenal. Oh, of course he has. I remember this. This was when Havertz was kind of going through a bit of a goal drought. He hadn't been at Arsenal very long, and they were trying to build up his confidence. They were already like 3-0 up, I believe. Arsenal were like 3-0 up, and Havertz and Saka very graciously gave Saka the penalty. That is the only penalty I remember Havertz taking for Arsenal, and it is, by the looks of this record, the only penalty Havertz has ever taken for Arsenal. So, yes, he has technically taken a penalty for Arsenal before, but the circumstances in which it happened do not lend itself to repeatability. Let's put it that way. So will he take penalties? Maybe. He's taken them for Germany before. He's taken them for the odd one for Chelsea. He's taken a few when he was playing in Germany, although that's like, what, 6-7 years ago now. Maybe Havertz takes a penalty if everyone else is off the pitch, but it's how likely are we saying that is? Ibrahim says own Timber and Omari Hutchinson. So Timber and Omari to Sar. Wait, sorry, what's going on here? Own Timber, Omari to Sar, or Heaven to Saliba, or play Barry. Omari to Sar or Heaven to Saliba. If you haven't tripled up on Arsenal yet, that's your priority. That's what you need to do first. So if going from Aiden Heaven, I'm presuming that's Aiden Heaven to Saliba. If that is an option for you and your only way of getting a third Arsenal player, then I would absolutely do that. Zers with a super chat here as well. Wilson to Wirtz, Enzo, Rogers, Sar, or Roll. Roll. I think I would roll. I know that's the boring answer. But honestly, I think that's what I would do because I think I quite like Wilson. The only exception to that is if you feel very strongly about Wirtz, Rogers, or Sar. I would give Enzo a miss, though, if I didn't already own him. I think the boat is close, or the ship is close to sailing on that one. So you haven't quite missed the boat, but yeah, you're getting closer. Ahmed says, Munoz in for Chow, already have Richards. I don't think I'd like to double up, really. I'd prefer to go for a Bournemouth defender if you've already got Richards. But you could still go for Munoz. It's just I'm not super keen on the double up there. And John Long says, hello, mate. What about a goalkeeper for the next 6 game weeks? I'm a little sick of Verbruggen, so trying to get him out and finally gain some points in the goalkeeper spot. 6 game week goalkeeper. After this week, I think Kelleher looks nice. But I'm guessing you're looking up until, what, Gameweek 32 wildcard, maybe? I think it would have to be Kelleher because the fixtures are good after this week. And you can always buy Kelleher or wait until next week to get Kelleher. Or if you do need to buy Kelleher this week, play Dubravka this week. Play your backup goalkeeper. So yeah, I guess Kelleher is the answer. It's just not a great. It's just not a great jumping on point for Kelleher, is it? Shepsy, thank you very much for the 79 pence or $1.00, as the case may be. To let you know, Callum, YouTube does not allow messages with super chats or super stickers, as they're known, below, what is it, like £1.50 or more? It is a YouTube thing. I did not implement that rule. So I don't know if you intended to throw in some kind of message in there. But that is often the case. People will put in like less than the YouTube threshold for messages, hoping that the next box will give you the option to write a message. But there is no next box, and clicking send just sends the money. But thank you, though. We'll take it. We'll take it. You're most perfectly welcome, John Long. And thank you very much for the super chat indeed. And thank you everyone for the super chats today. They really do help out the channel, guys. You know, it makes up a big chunk of my wage. Well, that failed heavily. Enjoy 1/8 of a pint on me. Thank you very much, mate. I will. I truly will. You tried. But next time you're gonna have to pull out the big bucks. I'm gonna have to see £2 on the table if you want to put in any messages in this stream, or indeed any stream, because that's just how it works. That's just how it works. All right. What we're saying on bench list, is there any players who you feel are missing? Any non-differential players? Because last time we had a problem. The over 60s were in the chat and they couldn't read the bench list because I put too many names on there and it made the text too small. I have to wait for payday and then we'll send my profanity. Fair enough, mate. Please don't say. Well, actually, there might actually be an automatic filter, so that you may end up failing again if it filters out swear words and stuff. But you're welcome to try it. Just please, nothing that is likely to get my account banned. Let's just put it that way. Although I don't think that's very likely to happen because I've never made any offences on this channel before. All right, who is missing then? Njai. There are a few people with Njai. Yeah, I think he can go on. Hill is on there already. I'm not totally confident about putting Calvert-Lewin on there just because I don't know his injury status. Callum Sturgis with the super chat says Mane, Richards, and Lacroix on the bench. I've bench boosted. Ooh. Well, good luck to you, my friend. Really holding out for that Burnley clean sheet there. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah, that's a lot of investment. I mean, I'm hoping for a nice Crystal Palace clean sheet as well against Burnley. Hopefully it comes through. And good luck to you, my friend. And Jai, let's throw Jai in. And then we'll get to that super chat from Luke. I would put Njai probably somewhere near here, right? Something like that. Okay, so Luke says, can't get Rice. Would you recommend going for Eze/Martinelli? Definitely not Eze. Almost certainly not Martinelli either because Trossard's available. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't recommend going for either of those players because I don't trust either of their minutes. I think you'd do just as well with a single game week player compared to Eze and Martinelli. So no, I wouldn't. I'd find another way. Maybe that means tripling up in defense. Maybe it means taking a hit. Yeah, I think you're just gonna have to find a different way, Luke. I mean, some people like Zubimendi, not this guy. Gyökeres, maybe. Could you do Gyökeres as your third Arsenal? Way Too Chill says, can't get Gabriel, triple captain Rice, Raya, or Timber. I think if it was me, I would maybe do Timber if I had to triple captain this week. But honestly, If I couldn't triple captain Gabriel this week for whatever reason, I would just save the triple captainship for a future game week. I don't think there's anyone else from this Arsenal side that gives me enough confidence. And if you can't do Gabriel, I think that would be really the tiebreaker, because I don't think it's a super obvious decision to triple captain this week. I think there are multiple ways of doing things. And anyone who's saving their triple captainship, absolutely fine. It could work out even better. So therefore, if you took Gabriel away from me, that's what I'd do. I'd just save the triple captainship. IB Sir says, XCK or Joao Pedro moving forward. I wildcarded on Gameweek 24. So it depends what you mean by that. If you're buying new, I probably wouldn't buy either this game week. I think Joao Pedro, the time to buy is probably past. But if you fancy a 2-game week punt and you need someone right now, then I'd go for Joao Pedro. Ekatike, I don't think I'd buy him ahead of Sunderland. I'd kind of be on the fence about buying him against Forest because it's an away fixture. But certainly from game week... so basically, game week 26-27, Joao Pedro is better. Game week 28 onwards, Ekatike is better. It's the simple answer to that. It depends. Do you need something right now? Can you wait? Dan, your triple vice captain is Rice just for security, but I think technically I prefer Timber. But just because I always try and make sure my vice captain is someone who is kind of ultra low risk kind of player. Ultra low risk. And I think Rice is that. I wonder if I could persuade my dear wife. To get me a drink. Hello, pretty. Please, can you make me a squash? My poor chat need me to stay here and answer their questions. There we go. Right, Rodgers on the bench list. Are we thinking benching Rodgers? We're not, surely. I mean, he would go to the top of this list, to be fair, so I don't think I'll do that. Is Timber guaranteed to start both games? No. He's not guaranteed to start both games, no. I mean, there's every chance he does, but I would give it, there's got to be at least a 10 to 20% chance that he misses one of the 2 games. You would imagine. Yeah. Oh. Yes, he's making this squash. Amazing news. Right, did anyone find out if there's a Keith Andrews press conference? Is that not happening today? Or at all? Oh, she's making a tea. Yes, please. Yes, please. Right, you know what? I think I'm ready to make my transfers. In fact, I'll wait until my squash arrives, and I'll wait till my tea arrives as well, and we'll cheers in the new transfers with a new drink. That's what we need. Will it be an orange or a blackcurrant squash? That's the question. Wifey guest appearance. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. If I know her, she probably will not want to come in because she's too shy. But we'll see. She's not been on the FPL Mate YouTube channel in years now. Too long. Too long. Right. Is Zubimendi a bad option? I think bad is probably the wrong word. It's just an uninspiring option and probably is going to get you 4 or 5 points. That's harsh. You could probably expect 6 or 7 points. Elderflower squash nailed on. If my wife walks in with an elderflower squash, well, I'm glad we did a fresh wash of towels this week. I'll put it that way, because she's going to need a few of them and probably to rewash her hair, because that elderflower squash would be all over her. Would you play O'Brien or Cash? I would play. I don't know. I guess O'Brien. Honestly, I've got the elderflower squash in my head now. If she comes in with the elderflower squash, get out of here with that utter woke nonsense. Who's on pens for Wolves? Great question. I wish I knew. I think there's a good chance it's going to be Tolu, but honestly, I don't know. Just joined King Gusto bench list. I think you got to play Gusto. He's looking good for minutes, I think, tonight. Because James is still a little risky. You can't do that to Morgan. She's too sweet. I absolutely can do that to Morgan. If she... that is not sweet behavior at all. That is wind-up merchant behavior. She would know I would hate that as well. So if she wants to wind me up, we'll two can play that game. Playful banter. Will Dewsbury Hall ever make the bench list? Do we really have to put... There's a lot of begging for Dewsbury Hall on the bench list. I suppose he'll have to go on, won't he? I just don't really know where to put him. I guess like next to Njai. In fact, let's just put him here. Then we don't take up any extra space. You've never wanted something to happen more? Well, let's find out. Let's find out what happens next. Captain Gabriel or Gyökeres? Definitely Gabriel. Oh, I said I was going to do another poll. We're not long until deadline now. All right. So, this is not a triple captain question. This is just a general captain question. Who is your Gameweek 26 captain? And we're going to put Gabriel, Rice. Who else? Timber? Or other? Think that pretty much covers it. Is there anyone else am I missing there? Is anyone seriously? Hello, come in. I'm putting the poll in. Are you actually making an appearance on the FPL Mate YouTube channel, or are you sneaking in the corner? You're not even using any words. That was one of the sneakiest sneaks. Thank you for that. Bye. See you soon. Well, I can tell you it's not elderflower. You want to take? Should we take bets on what flavour the squash is? Get your bets in. Right. What are we missing? Petrovic. Petrovic. I wouldn't mind playing Petrovic this week, to be fair. Vimto. Vile. Petrovic. Probably here. I don't know. Right. Well, if anyone answered blackcurrant, you are exactly correct. Summer fruit in February. Vile. That's worse than elderflower. Elderflower, Vimto, and summer fruit. Say fruit and barley next. Fruit and barley. You know what the worst one is? Lemon. Has anyone ever had lemon squash before? It's ridiculous. That's good squash. That is a good Asda's own blackcurrant squash. Max says, I love lemon squash. Mate, come on, man. Mark likes it as well. You guys need to all give your heads a collective wobble, because that is vile. Summer fruits all year round. How can you, if you're having one drink all year round, how can you possibly enjoy it? Lemon is elite, get cultured, Dan. No! I'm sorry. Am I in the Twilight Zone? What's going on, man? What's going on? Ridiculous. Right, well, I'm going to make some transfers. Well, a transfer. So I'm going to flick the bench list off the screen for a memento. And we're going to do Chow to Richards. We're going to lock this one in. Even if the Collins situation looks grim, there we have got some time. I mean, I wouldn't even have to play him in 27 if I didn't want to. I need to know basically by game week 28, is he good or is he bad? Because I would really like to play him from game week 28 onwards. Really like to play him. But for now, we don't need him. So we've got our good friend Ricardo. Shep, even you like lemon squash. Oh, man. I can't believe it. It's so bad, man. It's so bad. Honestly, if I was like stranded in the middle of the Sahara Desert and all I had was lemon squash, I'd say, mate, I'd rather wait till the next oasis. Even if there's a crocodile in there waiting for me, I'd rather take my chances with some proper swamp water rather than some chemically grown lemon swamp water. Terrible. I'll take my chances. Right, so I think I'm pretty much locked in now with 15 minutes to go till deadline. Triple captain's active. I mean, if I had Timber, I'd probably vice captain him, but I don't. So, Gabriel triple captain. I'm so set on that at this point. Rice on the vice. Rice on the vice. It rhymes. It's just right, isn't it? Pint of lemon squash or triple captain Isaac this week. Oh, well, I'd have to take the squash, wouldn't I? I'd have to take the squash. Damn. Oh, that would. Please, nobody ever put me in that situation. So gross. Like, I've literally tried to drink it before, and like I can't physically swallow it. It's so horrible. It's so horrible. Brentford will 100% score. 100%. Stick your mortgage on it, then, mate. Stick your mortgage on it. If you're that certain. Should I transfer Keane to anyone? No hit. Yeah, potentially. If you've got like Hill, Senesi, Richards, Munoz shaped hole in your team, then maybe one of those guys could work. Benjamin with the super chat says Donnarumma or Pickford in goal. I think Donnarumma's your guy. Any leaks? Any leaks? I doubt it. To be fair though, what leaks are you looking for? Reece James, Anthony Gordon. I think a good chance Anthony Gordon could be in the squad, by the way, today. I don't know if that impacts anyone in any way. Papu says Premier League server is down. I can't change my team now. Have you tried the app? And if you tried the app, have you tried the desktop? Try a different device is basically my advice. If you are on mobile and you only have access to a mobile, if it's not working on the mobile app, try your browser, your in-app browser. That's what I would recommend. Haven't got any news other than this. This is interesting. Cash not pictured in training, apparently. We will see what happens there. Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. Start Tatty or Rogers? I'd start Rogers. Would you play Wilson over Cash? Yeah. Ipster says, Dan, what do you think of triple captain Haaland versus Fulham, or Petro or Palmer versus Burnley? Nah, I'd really be looking at triple captaining on a double game week. If you don't do it on an Arsenal player this week, then really we're waiting to see if game week 35, 36, or 37 become a double game week, all of which have a chance to become double game weeks. Technically, game week 31 does as well. No, game week 31? Is that right? Game week 32. So technically, game week 32 also has a chance to be a double game week, but pretty unlikely. So we may get another double. Is pretty likely that we'll get another double game week this season. If you're not using a triple captain on this game week, then do it on another. I live to watch you press the panic button a minute before the deadline. Is there a panic button? There's no panic button. I'm chilling. Honestly, sometimes I am panicking. Today is not one of those days. Today I'm chilling. Team saved. Team looks good. Everything's in order. Gabriel's triple captained. In fact, maybe I'll scroll up a little bit just to make it very clear that triple captain is active. Man's active. Can't see the bench, but who cares? We trust in Big Gabby. We do indeed, Benjamin. We do. Henry says, Dan, don't triple captain Gabriel. Trust me on this. I'm sorry, Henry. I don't believe we've met before, and it takes me a little while to build up trust with new people. So for that reason, I'm going to have to go ahead and not trust you this week. Well, let's work on our rapport, and we'll see. Mark says, sorry, Dan, but I'm hoping for Enzo to fail. Fair enough, Mark. Fair enough. I mean, I'm hoping Enzo will do very well. I don't know if it'll happen or not. Finding out Bruno is bench would press the panic button. Are they? They're not playing until later, are they? No, they're playing 45 minutes later. So I think the chances of us getting a leak there is pretty low. We don't typically get Man United leaks. Actually, that's a lie. We do sometimes, but I don't know. The game isn't until what, like 8:30? No, 8:15. So pretty late. You know what? I'm looking forward to a footy extravaganza tonight, though. I'm ready. I'm ready to go back in for more FPL after this weekend. A nice a second green arrow in a row. I feel like I'm on a roll. I'm ready to go again. I just cannot wait for Gabriel on Thursday. That's going to be so much fun, man. I love the triple captain. Is the most overrated, overhyped chip in the entirety of FPL, and realistically, the swing you're going to get from a decent triple captain is like 10 points on the crowd. I mean, but it's just so much fun, and I think that's the purpose of FPL, right? To be fun, just to add that extra little bit of jeopardy. It feels like it's more jeopardy than it actually is, and I don't know. It just it does it for me. It does it for me. Chess said, it's my birthday. As a birthday gift, can you please reply? Whom to play? Bowen against Man United at home or Wilson against Man City away? I play Bowen. But by the way, I think I'd play Bowen at least. There's not much in it. I think I play Bowen because he's on penalties. By the way, if it's not actually your birthday, Chess, and this is kind of the new meta for getting people to reply in the chat, then honestly, fair play. And I won't let it work on me again. So I'm sorry. Anyone else whose birthday it is today, I will not be falling for it again. But, you know, for the creativity of using the birthday meta to get a chat reply, honestly, fair bloody play. Fair bloody play. You've even got people in the chat saying happy birthday. Here we go. Oh, look, it seems to be a few other people's birthdays in the chat. Funny how that works, isn't it? Funny how that works. Play Wilson or Chalobah? I'd play Chalobah. I'll put the bench list on screen. We'll put it on. We'll leave it on there for a couple more minutes. I have to play Wilson and Bowen. Not ideal. David, I think it could be worse. I think it could be worse, my friend. Jude says, genuinely, it is my birthday. And then follows with an FPL question. If you just said genuinely it's my birthday, I would have said happy birthday. But because you followed it up with an FPL question, I just have to be suspicious now. And I just feel like, I don't know. I don't maybe I'm being made a fool of. So I'm sorry, Jude. I can't do it. It's my birthday. Can you drink some lemon squash? No. David wants £10 because of it's his birthday. It's in the post in your card, David. It'll arrive soon, I'm sure. Happy birthday to everyone in the chat. You know what? If it is your birthday today, you know what? Even if it isn't your birthday, happy birthday to everyone, regardless of if it's your birthday or not, because apparently it's arbitrary anyway. Who cares if it's your birthday? If it helps you get FPL questions answered, then it could be. And who cares anyway? Just a random number. How many times the Earth has revolved around the sun since the day you emerged from your mother? So, who cares? Ryan says it's his wedding. You know what? Everyone wish me a happy birthday. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everyone wishing me a happy birthday. It's everyone's birthday. And yet nobody's. Merry Christmas too. Why not? Happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. And Eid Mubarak as well. Why not? Why not? Happy Pride Day. You know? Happy Pride Day. Pride Month. Wait, it actually is Pride Month, isn't it? Okay. Happy not Pride Month. I don't know. Happy Easter. Happy Pancake Day. Shrove Tuesday. It's my favourite day of the year. Oh, May Bank Holiday. Wowzers. Let's get back to FPL for the final 5 minutes before I lose my mind. It's because I've been streaming for too long. Momo Sissoko says, hi Dan, 2 free transfers, Cash to Munoz, Evanilson to Strand Larson, Anderson to Sarr. No, I don't think so. I don't think I'd bring in 2 Crystal Palace players. I just pick your poison. Happy Black History Month. Happy Black History Month as well. That's the important one. That's the big one. I wouldn't do double Crystal Palace, but I think I certainly wouldn't do triple. If you can afford to do Cash to Munoz in one move, I would do it though. Evan Ilton to Strand Larson, Anderson to Sarr, not really as keen on those moves. But Cash to Munoz I quite like if you can do that in one. If not, even Cash to Richards is pretty nice to me. He's pretty nice indeed. All right, well, let's keep an eye out for early team news. I'm hoping you guys are happy with bench list. If not, take a screenshot. It will last longer. And I will put my team on screen for the final few minutes of the stream, just because the show team gang are not going to be happy otherwise. They're going to be displeased at best. Let's take a screenshot of my FPL team as well before the deadline passes. 2 minutes till deadline, guys. Make sure we are locking in any final transfers, decisions, benchings, triple captains. Is anyone here still on the fence for triple captain? Is anyone still not locked in? Marty I forgot how to say your surname. O'Mahoon? Marty O'Mahoon says, here's some Candy Dosh. What on earth is Candy Dosh? Is that Irish? Is that an Irish phrase? Here's some Candy Dosh. Candy Dosh. To be sure. Yeah, there are a few people in the chat. Oh, correct. It is an Irish term, yes, that's correct how I'm saying your name. Who knows? Who knows at this point? I need to write it down, really, the pronunciation. Dosh, I know Dosh is money. I've heard Dosh. Oh, it's sweets money. Candy means sweets. That's like in America. Crazy, weird. Okay, well, some people locking in bench boost is crazy. It's Dosh to buy candy with G's. Yeah, but I've never used the phrase candy. The only time I would ever use the word candy is if I'm singing 50 Cent songs, which doesn't happen very often. DCL or Rogers? Rogers. Caicedo will score? Well, fair play. Shout out FPL crew. Dan, you make me laugh with the lemon squash. Bon anniversaire. Thank you, Simon. And yet still more people in the chat are still saying it's their birthday. Crazy. Candy floss. Oh yeah, Sutton backpacker. That's a good point. I would use the term candy if talking about candy floss. Right, literally 30 seconds till deadline, guys. So it is time to lock her in. Oh, that was a slurpy slurp. I need to go away from the. This tea is not decaf. I've not had a caffeinated cup of tea in a long time. At least 2 weeks. I was taking into consideration our American cousins. Oh, well, that's your mistake. Right, guys, that is going to be locked. We're locked in. We're locked in, guys. The deadline has officially passed. Yes, indeed, guys. A midweek deadline. The first double game week of the season. We are ready to go. We are ready. I hope we're ready, at least. I feel ready. And what's that? What's that I hear? Could it be? What could it be? Hello? Ah. Okay. Right, I will pass the message on. I'll pass the message on. Sorry, it's Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta. Yes, Mikel. Yes. Uh-huh. And we're still on for paddle on Wednesday, even though it's the day before the game. We're still on for paddle. We are. Fantastic, mate. Bring your A game. You're going to need it, my friend. All right. Adios, amigo. Bye-bye. Bye. Well, that was Mikel Arteta ringing me to inform me that Gabriel is going to haul this week. He's told me he's put Gabriel in charge of the set pieces. Gabriel is going to be on the end of every single one. None of this timber nonsense. None of this, ball bounces out for a second ball to Zubamendi or anything like that. We are going to be seeing a Gabriel masterclass. Mikel told me. He's told me. It's happening. It's happening. So yeah. I'd say good luck to Gabriel triple captainers. You don't need it. You don't need it. Arteta's told me. It's told me. It's told me already. He's not going to put Gabriel in the 9 though, which is disappointing. And he could not confirm nor deny whether Gabriel would be on penalties either. But maybe he's teasing it. Are we seeing a squash tier list? Well, considering I only drink 2 types of squash, orange or blackcurrant, and I pretty much refuse to drink all others in in a little stuck in my ways when it comes to squash. I don't think there's much point. I would just put blackcurrant and orange in S tier. I'd put fruit and barley, summer fruits, apple and blackcurrant in. No, not apple and blackcurrant's elite actually. I'll put those in like D tier, and then F tier would be like lemon and strawberry squash. Oh my word, I have had strawberry squash before. Vile. Absolutely vile. Orange and pineapple is like a C tier. Why mess about with it? Shepsy says, Dan, it's my nan, Eileen Dover's birthday. She's 67 today. Could you give her a shout out? Well, Shepsy. Let's figure this out for a second. You're 32 years old. So if your nan was 67, That means you both your nan and your mum would have been teenagers when they had one another and you. I don't know if that works mathematically. But in case it does, happy birthday to Shepsy's nan, Eileen Dover, 67 today. Happy birthday. Right. What else we got here? Thanks for the great channel, Dan. Sometimes I do wonder if it is a great channel. Sometimes I do wonder. Los Hobitos says, thanks, Dan. Have a great week and good luck with the Triple Captain. Gonna watch some anime now, like real men do. What anime, Los Hobitos? I need you to answer me that before you go. Something Backpacker says, so basically the next charity stream, guess what the crowd want you to drink a pint of? Hey, look, if it's for charity, then this is different. This is different. There are a few things I would not do for charity. That's a complete lie. There are so many things I wouldn't do for charity. I mean, look, I try and be a nice guy, a generous guy where I can, but everyone has their limits. Everyone has their limits. I watch you and FPL Tom, but all FPL guys are cool. I hopefully agree. Hopefully agree. I do still want to, at some point, try and attempt the longest ever FPL stream for charity. So maybe that can be the one where we set various challenges, such as drink flavors of squash that are quite frankly vile. And maybe we can set up a series of, what we could do like a spinny wheel, and every time we hit a charity money target, we spin the wheel of forfeits, and one of the forfeits can be like wear a Spurs football shirt for the next hour. One could be like drink a pint of lemon squash. Just other vile things that I definitely don't want to do. So we could do something like that. That could be fun. We could do something like that. We're talking about bird legs again, man. What else? We can do a watch along. I don't think I'll do a watch along. I think I'll just do like a day long deadline stream, like an ultra long deadline stream. Or unless you'd rather do like a watch along for like a full day's worth of football. Maybe. Mark has sent a gifted membership into the chat, but who will be the one to receive it? It's Sibravac. Congratulations, Sibravac, and thank you very much to Mark for gifting a membership. Absolute legend. Sibravac, make sure you say thank you. What else we got here? FC26 watch along. Does anyone really want to watch me play FC26? You know what? I don't even play Ultimate Team. I haven't done since like October. Honestly, I did not last long on Ultimate Team this year at all. In fact, I've got a load of FC points just sitting on my account unused because I was like, I'm not enjoying this game enough to justify spending these FC points that I have already bought. So I'm saving them. So I'm just saving them for next year. What about lemon sorbet? Can't say I've ever had it. Maybe at the start of next season, you could do a full day stream up till deadline. The only problem with that is I'm usually like crazy busy in the run up to the first deadline with a million different things. Plus like events and stuff as well. If I'm going to like FPL related events, which I often am at the start of the season, and meetups and stuff, which I haven't been to an FPL meetup since Gameweek 1 deadline day. I need to go to another one, but I just don't know. I don't know when the dates are. I will go to some more FPL meetups soon. And if there's any around the country, I may even go somewhere slightly different. Right. And we can get a selection of ideas for the Wheel of Misfortune. Yeah, we'll do some brainstorming. We'll do some brainstorming for that. I need to figure out when the stream is going to be first of all, and what we'll do. Whether it'll be like a really long deadline stream or like a watch along. Dan, why did you leave Richards in your starting 11? What do you mean? Why did I leave him there? That's where he's meant to be. He's right exactly where he's supposed to be in life. Congratulations to the young man. Yeah, Burnley at home, no brainer, right? Mohammed says, "Are you a full-time YouTuber now?" Yes, and I have been for what is it coming up? 5 years? That doesn't seem right. How long have I been married? I actually need to work this out. When did I quit my job? I quit my day job in like June of or July 2021, which means I will have been 5 years as a full-time YouTuber as of July. Wow. How on earth am I going to reintegrate with the regular world after that? How on earth am I going to reintegrate into normal society? You guys are just going to have to keep watching my videos, I'm afraid. I am not going back to the offices. I'll tell you that right now. I'll make videos for nobody before I do that. And unfortunately, I'll have to become a burden on my family, who will have to fund my lifestyle. What we got here? Oh my god, mate, I'm so scared. Are we going to do well? Yeah, of course we are. Been watching you since the 2019-20 season. Gosh, time flies. That is a long time, to be fair. A very long time. Are you going to do lineups? Yes, yeah. I'm waiting another 4 minutes for the lineups, and we're going to go through them and have a little look. What was your wait, sorry, trying to read this again. What was your profession before doing this full time? I was I don't know how to describe it, because I had so many. I worked for a small company and basically did a little bit of everything. Bit of admin, bit of web administration, bit of design, bit of customer service, bit of like but like the relevant stuff, I guess, was the user interface, UI and UX design, which I was doing, and I guess just design work in general. I mean, I've done design stuff at least freelance for 10 years. So yeah, graphic design I've been doing freelance. Well, not for the last 5 years. I haven't been, because I've been doing YouTube. But saying that, even when I first started the YouTube channel, I was doing a lot of freelance graphic design for bits and bobs. I did a lot for Fantasy Football Hub. A lot of the stuff they still use. In terms of the FPL community, the thing that as a designer rather than as a YouTuber, that I pioneered as an FPL behind the scenes designer is, when you watch podcasts and underneath, FPL podcasts, right? I don't know if any of you guys watch any of them, but there's loads of them out there. And sometimes they will have like their name underneath them. So that their name would be like down here, and it would say their rank, and then an arrow, a green or a red arrow going up or down. I was the first person to add that in to any podcast, any FPL podcast. The first person to add that little arrow. Fun fact for you: now everyone does it. Pioneer, my friends, pioneer. Tiny little detail, but everyone does it now. Everyone does it. But like, to be fair, when I first started doing FPL stuff, the space was fairly barren. Like, there wasn't a lot of people doing it, and those that were doing it weren't doing much. So But yeah, the bench list, 100 experts. Yeah, they're things that I started, and then a lot of people doing buy, sell, queue, void tier lists. Generally speaking, whole bunch of stuff. But I think that's just because I've been around for so long. At this point, I'm basically an old fogey when it comes to FPL content at this time, which is crazy to say. It's pretty crazy to say. Gotta try and find some lineups and stuff. Let's go to Chelsea first. Chelsea. Clearly influenced the FPL community in many ways. I think I have. I hope I have. I hope I've been a nice, I hope I have a legacy that lives on when I'm done in the FPL community, which hopefully is not for a very, very long time. But if it does have to come to the end, hopefully I left a good mark that continues onwards and inspires the next generation of FPL content creators. That would be a nice way to end if it had to. But there we go. Thank you very much for the kind messages, guys. Computer stuff, basically. Yeah, that was my old job. It was computer stuff. He does the computer stuff. That Dan works for us, does computer stuff. But I work for a company where everyone did computer stuff, so there you go. Right, come on, Chelsea. FPL Dan, you should be proud of yourself. What you're achieving is amazing. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. I really do. Still get imposter syndrome quite often, particularly. I think FPL are tweeting tweeting stuff out. Are they tweeting stuff out? Maybe. Yeah. Particularly with the last couple of seasons where my ranks have not been ideal, but things can change fast. Please be here. Okay, Hill's here. Senesi's here. Ryan's here. Who's not here? Croupy Jr. on the bench. Okay, we have our first catastrophe of the Gameweek 26 midweek game week. There's always bound to be a catastrophe or two. Fingers crossed not too many of you guys started Croupy Jr., but he is on the bench. That's catastrophe number one. I will read out the Bournemouth starting lineup. We've got Petrovic, Traffer, Senesi, Scott, Evan Nilsson's, Christie, Jimenez, Adley, Hill, Toth, and Ryan. I've got Newcastle next, and Gordy Gordon's back. Pope, Trippier, Botman, Gordon, Barnes, Chow, Elanga, Willock, Byrne, Bruno G, and Ramsey, which means Hall is on the bench. Does anyone have Hall? Maybe another disaster. Mark says I should have waited a bit before gifting to save it for the people who stand to the end. Yeah, maybe Mark. It doesn't matter. Maybe I'll gift. Can I gift? How do I gift? I don't know how to gift. I don't even know. I don't know how to gift. I'll figure it out for next time, and I'll gift. We'll do one each. Right. Anyway, yeah, it looks like Anthony Gordon in the number 9 again, because there's no Wissa or Voltemada. Yeah, so there you go. But yeah, Hall is the disaster catastrophe from Newcastle. So Krupa Jr. and Hall, the most significant absentees so far. Next, we've got Everton, and I've already seen a disaster. I'll read out the team. It's Pickford, O'Brien, Tarkovsky, Branthwaite, Mikolenko, Garner. 2 Garners. Idrissa Garner Gay, and the other Garner. Njai, Dewsbury Hall, George is in, and Barry. And there's one from every team. It's Keane. Keane is not in the Everton starting lineup. We did kind of know that Keane was circling the drain for that benching with Branthwaite and Mikolenko available. So perhaps a little unfortunate, but not entirely unexpected. Sean down with the super chat says, fuming, was at work and forgot to triple captain. Oh man, look, could be a blessing in disguise. Last week, someone sent me a message telling me that they accidentally left their captain's armband on Palmer because they were at work or something. And what ended up happening was Palmer scored 20 points. And they wanted to move it to Bruno. So they're 10 points up because they made a mistake. It can happen, Sean, and it could happen to you. You never know. All right. Leeds up next. We got Darlow, Bogle, Goodmanson, Rodon, Bijol, Bornau, Justin, Ampadu, Gruev, Aronson, and Amecha. So, that guy earlier who said that there was a trusted leak of no Calvert-Lewin, they were spot on. We have our fourth disaster, I suppose, for Gameweek 26. One from each team. This Leeds one is Calvert-Lewin. But, like, I guess at least he's not in the squad, so you're going to get an auto sub there. So, not the worst. Queen of the Stone Age says, hello, Daniel. Triple Captain breakdown on your videos was really helpful, so thank you. I decided not to use the Triple Captain in the end. Very glad to hear it, my friend. I'm very glad to hear it. The whole purpose of that was not to convince anyone to or to not Triple Captain, but just to help people understand their options so they can make their own decisions. I always trust people to make their own decisions. And any disasters here? Well, maybe. Sanchez, Gusto, Achimpong, Chalobah, Cucurella, Caicedo, Santos, Palmer, Enzo. Enzo in the 10 again. Esteval, Joao Pedro. And on the bench, do people still have Neto? Do people have... I don't know. Who else is missing? Reece James, not even in the squad. If anyone has Neto or James, then that's bad news there. Everything else looks reasonably good. But I wouldn't call that a disaster. These are real fringe players. Not really too many FPL managers have these guys. So we've got our first team that really doesn't have any major absentees. Huzzah. And finally, actually, what we got? Shepsy says, think it will be Enzo left wing again and Steve right wing, Palmer 10. Oh, yeah, it kind of was like that, wasn't it? Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. But, like, I guess it's just like your attacking versus your defense shape, which is probably going to be pretty different. So in attack, Enzo drifts to the left, Palmer stays central. Esteval's not going to play on the left, is he? I've not seen him play. Esteval can't play on the left, can he? I've never seen it happen. Thoughts, opinions? And from Tottenham, Top Spur. From Top Spur, we have Vicario, Dragusin, Xavi, Basuma, Gray, Solanke, Gallagher, Spence, Odebear, Sarr, and Van der Ven, the captain. Van der Ven is in. Who's missing? Romero, we knew was missing. Polina, Tell. No one has these guys. They're banging out the youth players again on the bench. Yeah, it won't be rigid. They'll change about. Steve is significantly worse than the left. Yeah, fair enough. Cool. All right. Well, I'll take your. I'll definitely take your opinion on that one. Yeah, Enzo on the left then. Calling Estavio Steve is mad. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair comment. I quite like Steve. It's far more pedestrian, isn't it? What was it that they called Azpilicueta? Was it Dave? At Chelsea? Sometimes, you know, they like to anglify the names over at Chelsea FC. But anyway, guys, so yeah, no real disasters from Spurs or Chelsea. Major pieces of news is Calvert-Lewin not in the squad. Keane on the bench. Hall on the bench. Krupa Jr. on the bench. I think most people will have dodged all of those. I think I've dodged all of them. So yeah, I think it could be worse. I think that could be worse, couldn't it? It could be worse. Right, guys, I think we can pretty much wrap things up. I'm not really feeling like sticking around for half an hour to see Manchester United naming an identical squad for the 4th consecutive week. Talking Drum says, please advise me on Semenyo. I own him, but not sure what to do. You could keep him for now. I don't see a reason to rush him out. JP Starts just wish Palmer didn't. Yeah, maybe Palmer get another early sub. Seems to be the trend. Yes, guys. Good luck this game week, particularly my fellow triple captainers of the Gabriel variety. Wishing you all the best of luck. Enjoy the midweek game week. Have fun. Enjoy and watch the footy. Chill out. I know I'll be chilling out for a few days. I'm not really going to back up with the videos again for a few days now because I really, I don't know. I want to wait for the FA Cup games this weekend, really. So I might take a couple of days off. Just play some video games, watch some anime, and chill. Which is quite nice. Valentine's Day this week as well. Not that I celebrate it, but maybe I should. But yeah, guys, cheers. Thank you for all the super chats and support and new members and everything like that. You guys are legends, as always. I'll catch you whenever I'm back making content, which will be probably in a few days now. Can take a couple of days off to watch the football. So yeah, cheers, guys. Enjoy, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.